G'day Darkrealmers, it's horror author and illustrator Michael J. Elliott here with you again. Hey, if this is your first time to the diaries, welcome. And if you want to keep up with the best in creepypasta, horror book and movie reviews and trivia, then hit the subscribe button now and the bell notification, and you'll be always up to date with the best from the world of horror. Okay, Darkrealmers, well, today I've got another tag for you, and this time I've been tagged by JB Taylor to answer 10 random and really unusual questions. So let's get started. Yeah. Okay, Darkrealmers, question 1. A penguin walks through the door right now wearing a sombrero. What does he say and why is he here? Well, obviously the poor little bugger's just travelled all the way from the South Pole, so he's going to want a drink. So he'll probably say, could I have a cold drink? Lots of ice, please. And why he is there? Well, it's obvious. He's wearing a sombrero to protest about climate change, isn't he? And it's his political way of, saying, what are you doing to my planet? To Mr. Trump, President Trump, and all the climate skeptics, okay? So that's why he's there. Question 2. What would be the name of your autobiography? Probably something a bit quirky, something like Musings from a Scrambled Mind. Question 3. Would you let us hook up your recently played on Spotify on the office speakers? Yep, I don't have a problem with that, and you'll have to dust them off because it's a long time since I've listened to music. I usually sit down if I'm feeling in a bit of a boppy mood and I'll listen to all my dance tracks with a beer, or I'll whack on some CDs when I've got a friend over and we're having a beer and nibblies and stuff like that, but it's very rare. So if you came round to my place, you'd hear, depending on my mood, mostly my dad's stuff. Okay. Question 4. If you had 3 wishes from a non-tricky genie, what would you wish for? Oh, easy. First one, I'd wish that I could have the power to change any part of my body without any pain or discomfort. First thing I'd do is, get rid of my man boobs. Yep, get rid of those big old puppies and replace them with, really manly pecs. Get my overbite fixed, get my missing teeth done, and then polish it all off with a Hollywood smile. And a few other bits and pieces. Number 2, I wouldn't ask for money directly. I'd ask to be a financially very successful author and YouTuber, so that I had an income that was not extravagant, but really comfortable. And number 3, that's hard. I wish I could have the ability to this is hard. Yeah, I wish I had the ability to. It is really hard. Yeah, no, I wish I had the ability to be able to calm down any conflict or situation. And just bring about peace. Maybe world peace would be nice. But just make human beings a bit more more nurturing and more caring, rather than sort of reverting back to silly little wars and everything over territory and religion and things like that. Okay. Question 5. Where would you go in a time machine and would you stay? Okay, well, originally with this question, I was a bit like JB, and I was going back to Rome because that fascinates me, absolutely fascinates me. But then I thought, hey, JB, you didn't specify that we're going back in the TARDIS. Now, because we're just going back in a generic time machine, we can't speak Latin. Okay, so that is going to make it really, really difficult for a start. And even, you know, like with the English slaves and that, they don't speak the English we know. Okay, and of course, there's all sort of germs and icky things that we don't have an immunity to because we've been born years and years after they've been eradicated or whatever. So I'd go to the future, but I'd go not too far ahead. I'm 55, so I'd go 55 years ahead. And, you know, people say, oh, but you just think about how much the world has changed in 55 years. Okay, we've gone from like Pony Express to telegraph to telephone to internet. We've gone from gramophones to cassettes to records to CDs to digital streaming. And that's happened in our lifetime and we all take it for granted. So imagine the changes in 55 years. Now, you know, if we moved in a time machine like Rod Taylor in the classic movie and we moved through time but not space, my little house wouldn't be here. And oh my God, I know 55 years in back rent. Oh, there's probably a pile of eviction notices waiting for me. But let's just say, yeah, okay, that's all good. Even just walking down the street would be amazing because would all these houses around me still be here? Walking down, you know, to local shop, would they still be there? What would my suburb be like? You know, all those sort of things. It'd just be fascinating. And no, I don't think I'd stay because I would be a fish out of water. But it'd be nice to see the changes. And one thing I'd love to find out was what humanity has done in terms of, you know, discovering exoplanets and stuff. If I could go into the future and see that, hey, NASA has discovered, you know, the second Earth, definite, we know all about it, or they've found life on Europa under that big ice sheet of ice in that ocean, I would be so happy. Okay, so that's what I'd do for the time travel thingy. 6, invisibility or flight. Oh, what a good choice. Invisibility. Oh, the stuff you could get away with. I mean, yeah, I know. Yeah, it's a bit creepy, isn't it? Yeah. But flight. Oh, definitely. See, I've never had a driving license, so I've never had a license or a car, and it's a bit of a bugger on sometimes. So if I could fly wherever I needed, that would be awesome. Mind you, if I was flying to do the shopping, I'd also have to ask for super strength to carry it all back, you know, flight-wise. But that would be so great. It'd be, you know, like easy travel, good for the planet because I'm not burning carbon fuels. Awesome, yeah. So yeah, definitely flight for me. Okay, here's a question. After somebody uses a transporter in Star Trek, are they the same person or does reconstructing them out of different molecules mean they are a different person and the original person ceases to exist? Oh, this could only be a Trekkie's version of, you know, a philosophical question, you know, not something deep and profound like I think, therefore I am. But yeah, are you the same person as you use the transporter? Well, I don't really know. I do know, according to the laws of physics, two objects cannot exist in the same time and space. So that you would have to be, I mean, you couldn't be a new person because you are, you know, if there was one person at the beginning of the transporter and another at the end, that's two people and they're occupying the same sort of space-time thingy. So yeah, so I think you'd be reconstructed. You'd still be you. I mean, the transporter is just reusing the same material. So yeah, I think you'd still be the same. Okay. Okay, number 8. What would you name your boat if you had one? Well, I don't have a big interest in sailing, but if I did, I thought this is very clever. I'd call it Amazonian Sales, okay? But sales, S-A-L-E-S, you know, like because I'm an author and I sell books on Amazon. Yeah, I thought that. Well, right. Question 9. what do you think is the closest thing to real magic? Wow, geez, that's yeah. I was I was going to say the laws of physics because when you think of the amazing things that gravity can do, or rip planets apart and all that sort of thing. I yeah, I'd say either physics, but on a more personal level, I'd say the human mind, because the human mind can do some amazing things, and I think we've only, tapped into what human beings are capable of, okay? And I think we may have lost, some of our sort of more, um, um, advanced, functions as we've developed and let technology do most of the work for us, okay? Okay, question 10, the final one. Would you take a one-way trip to Mars? Well, the simple answer is no. Look, I love docos about planets and the solar system, and the fact that Mars used to be, habitable and everything like that. But the scenery is really, really boring. It's all red rocks and dust and stuff like that. And we've got the same thing here in Central Australia, okay? And people pay money and go on holidays to there. And why do you think Hollywood chooses Central Australia when it makes films about alien planets and particularly Mars? Because it looks like Mars. Even NASA comes here to test out their space buggies and stuff like that. Pretty cool. So no, I don't think I'd go because it'd be boring. Yeah, I don't think you'd get a good Wi-Fi service either. And imagine if you run out of bread or milk or anything like that, yeah. So no, I don't think I'd go. Okay, Darkrealmers. Well, thanks, JB. They're my answers. This was fun. It was quirky. It was unusual. Yeah, and it did make you put the thinking cap on. So thanks very much for tagging me in this. I look forward to the next one. All right, Darkrealmers. Well, that's it from me, Michael J. Elliott. I hope you've liked this little fun tag. And like I always say, stay in the light, Darkrealmers, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Bye for now.